Whoa, so what I came across is definitely not the Stranger Things. Welcome everyone, this is Yash, your own spacewalker and piloting your own channel with Spacewalker. Today, we are going to talk about an interesting series showcasing a bunch of kids. Well, some other bunch of kids. Some bullies. Um, Other set of bullies. Some missing kids. Not this set of missing kids, but this set of missing kids. And definitely not this, but this. Fighting another worldly entity. Not this one, but this. So let's get amused and get started with the review of the series It. Welcome to Derry, Chapter 1, which is available on HBO Max and Geo Hotstar. The series opens with something deceptively simple. A kid walking home. That's it. No monster, no music screaming at you to be scared. Just a child called Matty all alone on the road and suddenly a car that stops beside him. And here's the first smart move the show makes. The family looks harmless. Friendly parents, two kids, a normal offer. This isn't evil announcing itself. It's evil wearing a seatbelt and smiling politely. Matty gets in the car, and the tension doesn't come from what happens immediately. It comes from what shouldn't be happening. The kids don't act like kids. The parents don't react like parents. Everyone keeps smiling while the situation gets worse. And that disconnect, that is the real horror. As the car drives past where Matty needs to be dropped off, the show crosses a line deliberately. We are watching something wrong. The doors won't open, the parents ignore him, the kids escalate their behavior like they're following rules only they understand. And notice this, nobody raises their voice, nobody drops the act. That calm is intentional. Because it has always been about this idea. Evil doesn't need to rage, it just needs control. Then the scene swerves into full-blown nightmare, not with Pennywise, not with a jump scare, but with something grotesque, symbolic, and deeply uncomfortable. The chanting, the smiles, the transformation. This isn't shock for shock's sake. This moment tells you exactly what kind of show this is going to be. It is saying this story is about corrupted innocence, twisted creation, and things being born where they never should be. That winged creature isn't just a monster, it's a manifestation of fear, of violation, of Derry itself producing horror instead of protecting children. And just as it reaches peak intensity, the camera leaves. It doesn't show you the aftermath, it doesn't give you release, it pulls away, dives into the sewer, and the title, Welcome to Derry, rises from the darkness. That cut is surgical, because the show isn't interested in gore, it's interested in telling you this. Whatever you just saw didn't come from that family, it came from here, it came from Derry. Pennywise isn't even on screen and yet it is everywhere. So, I'm going to give you a non-spoiler version of the synopsis in brief. And it is that this series looks childish, like straight out of the Goosebump TV series, which we used to watch as kids on our television sets. But it is scary at times too. Welcome to Derry is set in 1962, a full 27 years before the events of It Chapter 1, which updated the book's 1957 setting to 1988. The show dives into the lore of Pennywise and the town's horrific history, drawing heavily from the interludes in the King's original novel. Those eerie flashbacks and historical tragedies Mike Hannon researched as an adult. One major event the show appears to center around is the burning of the Black Spot, a nightclub founded and frequented by black soldiers and locals, which was torched by a white supremacist group known as the Main Legion of White Decency. This attack, which is also canon in the King's novel, is implied to have occurred with the Pennywise's manipulative influence. The teaser trailer confirms this setting, showcasing the town's 1960s aesthetic and introducing a new cast of young characters who begin to sense something evil rising in Derry. The series aims to connect the dots between those early hauntings and the cosmic evil lurking behind the clown face. The people who built the It movies aren't handling this off, they are doubling down. Andy and Barbara Michietti are back to expand the It universe, returning as the creative backbone of Welcome to Derry. This isn't a side project or a cash grab spin off, it's a direct extension of the world they have already established. They're joined by Jason Fuchs, who helped shape the story from the ground up, and Brad Caleb Kane, who steps in as the co-showrunner to help steer the series long term. Andy Muschietti isn't just overseeing things from a distance either. He directed multiple episodes, including the pilot, which sets the tone for everything that follows. And yes, despite early rumors, Bill Skarsgård is back, fully suited up, returning as Pennywise. The rest of the cast fills out Derry during its 1960s peak, or depending on how you look at it, the beginning of its collapse. Taylor Page, Jovan Adipo, Chris Chalk, James Remar, Stephen Ryder, Madeleine Stowe, and Rudy Mancuso makes up the faces of a town that looks alive on the surface, but is already rotting underneath. The score in Welcome to Derry is minimal, restrained, and uncomfortable by design. You're not getting loud stings every 5 minutes. You're getting low sustained voice, low sustained tones, warped textures, melodies that never fully resolve. The music doesn't tell you when to be scared, it tells you something is already wrong. A lot of scenes play with near silence, forcing you to sit in tension longer than you want to. That's not subtlety for art's sake, that's control. The series leans into 1960s era music, cheerful, nostalgic, familiar songs that should feel warm. Take Ya Got Trouble from the Music Man. On paper, it's upbeat and theatrical. In the show, it's anything but. The song slips in the background during tense moments with the word trouble echoing almost like a chant. What was once playful turns into a warning, subtle, repetitive, and deeply unsettling. That repetition isn't accidental. The creators picked this song specifically because of how disturbing it becomes when stripped of its cheers. Other songs include A Smile and a Ribbon, which is the series' opening credits theme, and the original score by Benjamin Wallfisch, returning after his work on the It films. His music doesn't overwhelm scenes, it tightens them. With its chilling storyline, deep ties to Stephen King's mythology, and a production team that understands the material, Welcome to Derry has proven that it is more than just IP padding, and that it is not carrying the burden of the It franchisee, but is packed with a gripping story for the viewers to dwell into the past of both the characters, not only of the series but of the 2017 movie itself, and the antagonist. It has offered a new insight into one of the horror's most iconic monsters, and perhaps even give us something we have never seen before, a look into the mind of Pennywise. Whether you are a die-hard fan of the book or just someone who still can't look at a storm drain the same way, Welcome to Derry has proved itself to be a must-watch this fall. I highly recommend you all to watch it with your friends and family, not to forget with a cup of hot chocolate milk. So while you are deciding to watch the series or are taking time to ponder, since horror/fantasy is not your genre, I take this opportunity to bid adieu for the time to come up with the review of a new movie, a new series, or a new story. This is Yash Gupta, your own Vid Spacewalker, signing off. Ciao.
Neon lights are fading, shadows on the wall, beat running wild. I can't slow it down, feels like Hawkins calling from another time. Lights flicker, signals in the air. I hear your voice, but you're not there. Every step I take, I feel the ground shake. Something in the night I cannot escape. I'm falling to the upside down, where silence screams and fear gets loud. If you're lost, I'll find you now. Even if the world gets turned around, I'm falling into the upside down. Demons in the shadows, whispering my name. Reality's a war, I I can't tame. Walkie-talkies calling, are you still alive? In this broken world, will we just survive?
My affairs watching me, haunting me slow. The levels power rise and energy flow. Friends don't lie, that's the code we know. In the deepest night, our courage glows. Bikes on the road, lightning in the sky. Running from the dark, but we still don't die. Upside down. Silence screams and fear gets loud. If you're lost, I'll find you now. Even if the world gets turned around, falling to the upside down. Hold my hand, we'll leave this town till the gates are closed. We won't back down.